Wow. Some of you may be wondering why I'm taking all this core out, because a lot of it seems to be dry. The problem is I can't tell where it's dry and where it's wet. And here's an example of what this looks solid, fine, no problem. And then you take that out and you find this. It's absolutely saturated. This looks solid. It feels solid. Doesn't feel soft or anything like that. But you never know where you're going to find these spots. And the only way for me to determine where the spots are is to take all the core out and replace all of it. So that's why I'm doing this. It's just kind of shocking sometimes when you come across a spot where you feel like the numbers here are at 14s. I know they're a little bit more than they should be. You should be around 7 and that kind of thing. But then you find, like here, you see that it's dry, and then a few inches away you see this. So has this been replaced previously? I don't think so. I think that's original. But let's see as we dig in a little deeper as what's going on here. So I'm going to cut away basically an area kind of like this. I don't want to get too close to this chain plate because I haven't finished building that up yet. So that's one of the knees. I haven't finished building the knee up for this particular chain plate. So I don't want to get too close to that because I need it for my reference for establishing the angle for the chain plate. So anyway, let's see what we find. Alright, so what I've done is I've cut lines in this, or grooves, to cut through the fiberglass, and now I'm ready to pull all these pieces out. So we're going to see what we're going to find in this area. I don't know if I mentioned this before, but these numbers, I did mention it in a previous video. These numbers indicate the percentage we got with the moisture meter. So obviously the moisture meter is not a perfect tool. It doesn't show us everything, especially on this boat, maybe because of the thickness of the glass. But the wetness here didn't really show up any different than what we have over here. But let's see what happens when we take this off. Yeah. There. Let's see what happens as we go this way. Wow, you can see how easy that was to come off. This piece seems to be bound on there a little bit more. There we go. This seems to run this way over towards the stanchion, or maybe where the chain plate was. That's the chain plate position. It's just our temporary plastic chain plate, just as a placeholder. But let's see what we find as we go a little further. Yeah. So that's pretty dry over there. So it looks like there's some resin here that's kind of blocked the moisture from getting over this side. Wow. Maybe it didn't block at all because it's getting wet again down here. Let's see what happens. That's that spot we marked at 21, which isn't really too excessive, but it should be around 7 or 8% is my understanding. So let's take this one out. There. So I gotta be careful with this because I've got a bit of epoxy where it's squeezed out there. So just pull this out as gently as possible. for the other ones first, because then I can kind of tip that up like that. Oh yeah, I can feel the moisture in that. And that. Take this last piece out. Alright, see what happens as we chip some of this out of here. Just absolutely saturated. So it's lots of ones. You see where it comes off, saturated it is. See what's there. No, this is like, hopefully dry. Still not dry. You can see there that it's starting to work its way across. But I'm going to bring the rest of the stuff here. You can see this, it's dry. It's super dry. This is so dry. Just like this. So, we'll remove the rest of this and prepare for our piece of kusa, and we'll put that in. Unfortunately, this right over here, I can't remove the core yet because I haven't completed the structure that I need. And once again, I need that. I need this surface to give me the angles for the chain plate, which are dictated by the knee. So that's going to have to wait a little bit. This is the knee, the more forward knee on the starboard side. We started glassing this in the year before last, but we didn't complete it. So we have to complete that now in order to put the chain plate in, and you can see that piece of starboard there. That's just a mock-up for the chain plate. But the area between the mock-up and the plywood knee is what we have to fill up with fiberglass. So we're just going to add layer upon layer until all that's filled up. But we can get the piece of kusa in over here. Oh, by the way, guys, I'd like you to subscribe if you could. It would really help the channel out, and it would really help the channel grow. So if you guys can do that for me, that'd be fantastic. You know, any likes, subscribes, all that kind of thing. I'm really trying to grow this channel now. So that's where you guys can really help out. Alright, so I've got all that core removed, the wet core from this side and the drier core from this side. It does appear to me that this has been repaired in the past. I won't know for sure until I start to sand it, but again, you can see these spots where the plywood hadn't bonded to the skin beneath. It was just like a puddle here without any contact. And as far as this is concerned, I've removed as much as I can. So the next step will be to sand this whole area and get it all prepped for the kusa, and then cut a piece of kusa to size and get that bonded in. So another small section of core removed. When I look around the boat, it looks like I'm actually making some progress. It looks like there's a lot more core replaced than there is to replace. So that's always a good thing. I'd love to be finished with this recoring. So the next step is going to be to sand all this out. You can see I've still got where I'm sitting. This is still going to be wet underneath here, but until I've got this chain plate and knee dealt with, I can't move forward on that. So that will have to be kind of somewhat put on the back burner, but another one of those things that we have to get done. All right, so this piece of kusa is in. This is where that rotten portion of plywood was. This is all nicely bonded. And the areas here where the squeeze out was, we're gonna have to sand those down, clean out the mean blush first, sand them down, and fill that so everything's nice and flush. The areas that are proud of the surface, we're gonna have to, again, clean the mean blush off them and sand those down flush. And continue on with the recoring project. So the plan is to get everything all to this point, or actually to the point where it's all filled. And once that's done, it's time for glassing. And I'm hoping to start that by the beginning of July. So I'm really trying to push ahead now, and it's May 15th today, so I got a month and a half to get all the recoring done. I think that might be doable. I'm hoping so. So hang in there, guys. We're gonna get past this coring, and we're gonna get on to some more interesting stuff. It's just a matter of getting past this phase. I'd love to get past this phase. I'm tired of chiseling out old core and putting in new Kusa. It'd be nice to be able to, start glassing, start doing something different.